I'm Mikhail Arsentiv. I'm with Skylex mobile app, and I'm an immigration lawyer. And today we're talking with the wonderful Prince.
Yes.
From Everest, Cuisine.
Cuisine, yes.
Yes, he's a great businessman. He's an owner of 3 restaurants, right?
Yes.
And we have a special surprise that he also has experience working as a paralegal.
Exactly, yes.
So tell me a little bit about your business, because you're a great businessman. Obviously, you were able to come here and have a job that is unrelated, right, to the food, the restaurant business, and then you started with one restaurant.
Yeah, I started from 2015. I started Kaful restaurant. End of 2017-18, we started this one, and recently we started in San Jose, same group. So another same names, Everest Cuisine in San Jose. So we are doing fantastic.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, can you teach someone to make the authentic dumplings?
Yeah, because that one is very hard. Because making dumpling is one of the things, but the inside, whatever is there, is very hard. So we need to have skilled people.
Yeah.
Those people who have skill on that, their expertise. It's very hard to get people like this here in US.
Yeah.
So I want to know. I heard that there is an EV3 and EV5. So can you explain about that?
Yeah. So every time the EV3, the employment-based category number 3, and you just use this to get the green card for your worker.
Okay.
And what the process entails, basically, you have to show that the position is important enough for your business that you need to hire that worker, that specific one, not just any random one. Okay. And we need to show that there is no U.S. worker available.
That's true. That's
to
now
fill that position.
It's very hard.
Yeah. So. And then, but the Department of Labor, you have to work with several departments here, with the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Labor. And if the person is not in the U.S., then Department of State a little bit too. So the process is very complicated. It takes about 2 years.
Okay.
But then, and then the person for whom you are doing has to be in a valid status in the U.S. and some kind of an independent visa. We need to start with a basic. Drafting job description.
Okay.
So we draft the job description, and we need to figure out the proper title to use.
Okay.
And the minimum requirements.
Okay.
So, for example, to make this, what would be to make a great Nepalese food? You don't have to have a bachelor's degree, right?
No.
But you need to have experience.
Experience. That's right.
So how much experience would you say?
Minimum 10 years.
Oh, okay.
And it's very hard to get. That's the reason it's very hard. But what kind of document you need from a restaurant?
So it has to be a business organization formed. So LLC, corporation, it doesn't matter. Yeah. There has to be an address, and obviously you have this address. And then we want in the future, in about a year or year and a half later, we want to see the tax returns.
Okay. How many years?
1 year, it's technically enough. But the more the better.
Okay, sounds good. That's
and
right.
so basically another thing is that when you are paying the person, the employee that you want to sponsor for a green card is already working for you, you pay him paychecks, right? You have paychecks and W-2s.
That's right.
All this documentation, even if the restaurant is very new, fresh, or any other business, right? If you pay that person now, then we use that instead of tax returns. We just show, look, I've been paying this person for 2 years. These are all the paychecks for 2 years, and this is the W-2. And that way we can shift the focus from actual tax returns, right? Even if because everybody is showing not much profit.
That's right.
Yeah. So and then use the paychecks and the W-2 to show the ability to pay. That's the a language that the Congress used, the ability to pay.
Okay.
So every restaurant had to show the ability to pay.
Okay.
And if we have paychecks and W-2, that means the ability to pay requirement is satisfied.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Good.
So what we how we start with that, we need to we work with a manager, and then we need to get the proper job title.
Okay.
And the job description.
Okay.
And the minimum requirements.
Okay.
So for example, we would say chef. These are the job requirements. Okay. Cook wonderful food, lamb sag,
Titanic Mamu,
and
Jeera rice,
chicken tandoori, and basmati rice. And then basmati naan too.
Right? Basmati naan, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we
So we need
put
to
this on-
describe all the things.
Yeah, we describe that on, and normally, so what you give me some basic directions on what to do, and then I come up with the job description, and then after that we do the minimum job requirements,
Okay.
and we put that amount of years. So if it's 10 years of experience, we just put 10 years of experience.
That's right.
And then we apply for a prevailing wage. So we need to get, this is the tricky part, because we need to have the Department of Labor determine how much you have to pay your employee to get him a green card.
Okay.
For every county, the amount is different.
Oh, okay.
And then there is a way to determine what it would be, because there is a chart for every year. But basically, we have to wait for that document for a couple of months. And then if it's called the prevailing wage,
Yeah.
and then when it comes back, you look at it, it says, okay, I'm paying above already, or I'm paying that, or you make a promise that you're gonna start paying that wage when the green card is approved, so
Okay.
like 2 years later. So that's a tricky part. It takes time to determine that, but basically that's one step, and then we get that done. After that, we do the recruitment, which is where we actually advertise,
Yeah.
and it's for 60 days, and then we wait to see if, who will apply for the job. And if there is nobody who applies, or people don't qualify, you bring them for the interview, or you see the resume, it's like the resume is no good, not enough experience, then we move on to the next step.
And then if we need to bring people from Nepal, because
Yes.
I found one guy, he's currently working in 5-star hotel,
Hmm.
and he's willing to come, and he said, he's willing to come to help me, and in order to bring him here.
Yes.
I mean, whoever he's here is maybe a little easier than bring him there, or
Sure.
it's the same way process.
There are two ways. If the employee is in the US, then we file the adjustment of status petition, basically a green card, and then
You're
the
done.
employee is here.
Okay.
If the employee is not in the US, so we can do all this process when your potential employee is in a different country,
Yeah.
and then we just process the petition with the Department of State. We filed what's called like the National Visa Center petition, and then your employee would need to go to the embassy and get this employment based visa. Basically, it's like a green card, but it's being stamped in the passport, and then you just get it there.
Okay.
And then yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. So in order to bring people from overseas, like maybe Singapore, Japan, or Nepal, do they have any minimum requirement for the education or no?
No, it's all about your minimum requirements. So whatever you need to say, is you just said it's like no degree and 10 years of experience, then that's your requirement.
Oh,
So
okay.
whatever that's why working with the petition like that, it takes a long time, and it's very important to start and work with
Okay.
with me.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because the very first step, if we make a mistake there, we will know that there is a problem 2 years later, and then
Yeah.
we may get denied. That's why from the very beginning, we figure out the proper job requirements, the proper job description, and the title. So 2 years later, we don't have any problems. Everything has to match, because this petition is employee specific.
Okay.
We cannot file one petition and then get anybody. We start working with your specific candidate,
Yeah.
like that person who works for a 5-star hotel,
Mhm.
and then we just put, okay, these are this qualification. We get experience verification letter, and then when 2 years later, when it's time to go to the interview, then your employee just shows that, okay, there's my documents, and then the officer just says, okay, this is all checked. This is exactly how you guys reported it to us 2 years ago to the Department of Labor. Then everything is fine. Here's the green card for
Very
you.
good. So your whole family can come.
Whole family can come.
Very
yes.
good, very
But
good.
then throughout the process, we need to write down the family's names, so they have. Yeah,
Definitely.
we don't want to miss
So
that either.
so how many applicants we can start now, if we want to start?
Yeah, one restaurant can have 3, 4, 5 people working there, or a little bit more. But if you have 50 petitions for one restaurant, it doesn't.
Currently, my restaurant has, I think, including everyone's, I think maybe it's 9, 10, 15, 10 to 15 people full timer.
Okay, that means you can file 10 to 15 petitions.
Right, that's right. So okay, so if we do like 4, 5 people together,
Yes.
do you have any specific package for them? Like maybe 5 people at a time?
Yes, we can do that, but then you see we have to closely analyze every single person's qualification, because let's say for somebody you have a 10-year experience requirement, For somebody else, it's a part-time or like, but you have like a 2-year requirement, for example, 2-year experience.
That's right.
And then that's what we need to. If there is one requirement, let's say no degree and 2 years of experience preparing Nepalese food, then we can package them all together. But then if one person is 10 years of experience, it's a chef position. The other person is like a junior cook. The third person is somebody else, helper. Then we can bundle them together because they all have different qualifications.
Right.
They get different salaries. Maybe the work schedule is different.
Yes.
So, and they have different responsibilities. That's why they need to be filed separately. But if there is like 5 people doing exactly the same job, like for IT companies, if it's like software engineer and like bachelor's in computer science and 2 years experience, and it's like 50 people, they're all the same. And then we file them all together. Yeah.
Wow. So that EB3 is only for cook, kitchen staff or outside service also? Service people?
Service people would work. We just need to determine the proper title, job title for that employee. For that person. And then it's for anybody as long as it's work.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you cannot file an EB3 for a wife, right? Yeah, because this is different. Or you cannot file it for like. I don't know, like someone, it has to be full-time.
Full-timer and it has to work here.
So, and then I wanted to tell you a little bit about H-1B. H-1B is a visa that requires a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
Right, H-1B, you have to have at least a bachelor's degree. And then, so what we've done in the past, if you have a very specific, like a chef position, it cannot be done for a junior employee, And if we show like 25 years of experience, we can file an H-1B for that person, but we can only do it like once a year in February and March. We start the petition, then we file, and then there is a complicated lottery process where it has to be picked up. But we've had H-1Bs for Indian restaurants approved, but then it's for very senior positions. The good part about it that you don't have to wait for 2 years for the person to come in. It's a little less. You basically can file in the spring and get the employee here on October 1st.
Wow, that's very fast.
Yeah. If you got picked up, if your case is picked up, then and then you get an approval, and by October 1st you can have them here. But again, it's only for senior folks.
Okay.
H-1B normally is for like tech people, right, with bachelor's in computer science and stuff. But then there is no really bachelor's degree in culinary arts. There is an associate degree normally, right?
That's right.
So you can show an associate degree and 10 years of experience, for example. Or you can show no degree, but experience has to be super substantial. Yeah, like if you say 20 years, then instead of having a bachelor's degree, because bachelor's degree is 4 years. So yeah, if you have 15 years of experience, or 12 years of experience for every year that you spend in classroom, you can show 3 years of experience instead of it. Basically, you can show 12 years of experience instead of a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
So if you have to show 20 years of experience, it's a very challenging position. The chef will supervise a lot of people. He won't even be cooking himself much, right? But he will be supervising. So USCIS, the Department of Homeland Security, says, oh, okay, it's a senior position, then we will give him an H-1B.
Sounds good. Okay, yeah. So we have two options. One is H-1B for the senior people who has more than 15, 20 years experience, right? Yep. And another one is EB3. And another one is the people who can spend 500,000, they can get a green card. What is that one?
Yeah. So it's EB5. It's
EB5, okay.
Yeah. It's an investment visa.
Okay.
Yeah. It takes a while too, but basically, it's investment into the U.S. economy.
Okay.
So you invest that amount of money, and then you get to have a green card. But it's at first it's for 2 years. But the problem here is that you spend this money, you send this money, transfer the money to a regional center, basically to some kind of an investment project, and you don't have any control over it. So you just invest it, and you get a green card, and then you wait for 2 years, and then hopefully they will finish the project and will hire people. Because this whole visa is for additional work, additional jobs.
Okay, so they need to give money to them.
Yes, to them.
What is going to happen with that money if something happens? Gone.
Yeah.
And if they make profit, they can return.
Yes. If they make profit, then they can return the money. Or basically, if let's say it's very common for hotels in Miami, for example. they build big hotels or like construction buildings, and then they raise EB5 money.
Yeah.
And then you become like, you have a little share, like for this amount, 500,000 or $1 million, you have the share of that company basically. So there is a way that your investment will not disappear. You'll get a return on it and a green card. So I mean, you have to. But the good thing here is like you choose your own project to invest in.
Okay.
Yeah, you can check many different projects, figure out which one is right for you. It's not like you have to have a certain company.
So once we deposit 500,000 and then the green card will be processed, or how?
Yes, the green card is in process.
Okay.
Yes, and then you get a green card, and then after that, then you just see if the project is actually created 5 or 10 jobs in the U.S. with your money only.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we deposit the money, but the project hasn't started, I mean, if the candidate start the project on time, then what is going to happen?
So you get this 2-year green card, but then after 2 years, you have to show what happened with the project, and then hopefully get an extension or of the green card.
Okay.
So yeah, there
are other way also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Some alternative to filing to making an investment into the U.S. is E2 visas. E2 visas that there are certain countries can file, and like investment visas, and then there are also L1A visas.
How much is that?
Well, there is no. You basically come here and start a new office. You start a new company that is affiliated with the company in your country. Tell me what you remember about Asylum. When you're in the U.S. in any status, right, with any visa, you can apply for an asylum application, right? Ideally, you want to do it within like 6 months after entering, and this has to be a fear of death,
That's
right?
Yeah,
A fear of death, not in the U.S., but in your home country,
yes,
in your
that's
home country, not in like any third
country, yeah,
of which you're a citizen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you need to have a fear of death. You have to prove that fear of death, and you file for an asylum application, and then you can get a employment authorization document.
Yeah, that's right.
And what we are seeing now is the asylum application are like pending forever,
That's
right? But then it's still, we have to, as a paralegal and as a lawyer, you want to prepare a very nice package, right, of the asylum application petition, and like how many pages would you think the average application was like?
Average, I mean, of course, I mean, like maybe 15 up to 75, or maybe 100. One case from India, I see more than 100 pages.
Yeah.
There are so many documents.
Yep.
Need to be submitted. Some people have, the average is 50 pages,
Yeah.
compared to, because of political background, and then all the copies, all the recommendation, and then his story, and then his passport copy, citizenship copy. There are so many different birth certificates.
Exactly. Yeah.
If somebody dead, then death certificates. There are so many things to need to be submitted.
So you definitely want to talk with like an immigration lawyer, an immigration paralegal to get a nice case.
Exactly. We have a lot of employee and a lot of friends. They are having very hard time getting their paper.
The way what we do differently in our services, like we have a mobile application that you can download on the phone. It works in any country, and we have a legal helpline there that we can answer questions at any moment, and then basically use it to file applications. Mm-hmm. And everything can be done through there. We can create group chats. It's like Slack, but for lawyers and for immigration practice. So over there, every employee can create an account, an employer can create an account. And it takes 5 seconds. It's just like verification, and then with the group chat, so everything that your employees like submit, all the documentation, like you can see, and then it saves time. Yeah, very cool.
All right, thank you so much. Please, let's enjoy the food now.
Yeah.